Hey guys, and welcome back to Altruistic Channel. It's me, Al. I wanted to talk about a kind of a little bit of a controversial topic, but considering, hello, that we are discussing the collective consciousness and spirituality in business, I thought it might be appropriate to actually name a spade, which is the conversation of God and his continual use as a divisive tactic amongst people in general. You know, when it comes down to this subject matter, people tend to shy away from it because they haven't done the work within themselves to see what it is that they are afraid of, or more to the point, what it is that they are afraid of discovering that they were not right about. Like, it's almost like a detrimental fear that they have, that they are so wrong that by finding out, they're going to, like, go to hell immediately. And it's just like it's just a wonderment to watch people react so vehemently about a belief structure that they may or may not be able to actually prove. But they have no problem denying someone else's faith or belief structure because of the whatever X, Y, and Z factor. So it's a very interesting personal dynamic that occurs with the conversation of the grand creator. And as such, you know, with the collective, we kind of look at it like this. It's a divine energy that's all-knowing. So it's either one with the oneness, being God, or you are in tune with the higher power, right? And so regardless of whether you call it Allah or God or anything that you pray to, the fact of the matter is that you still have a faith structure that gives you the ability to master things that you may not have otherwise been able to conquer by just adhering to the fact that you believe in something grander than you and that you understand that some things are out of your control. And it basically provides the hope mechanism for all of us to survive, right? So victims of crime or people who undergo severe trauma, survivors of accidents or plane crashes, all vehemently, all, I don't know why I keep saying vehemently, but all of them rely heavily on, in times of need, on the grand design or the higher power. So though I understand it's a personal matter for most people, it's, I think, about time that we start to realize that it's being used almost like a weapon, and it pisses me off to no end when I see people do this. If you speak about hate, then you cannot speak about God, because God would not speak about hate. There would be no need to. He's God. And so the relevance of you telling someone that they're an abomination or that their choices in this world are wrong is a slap in his face, because at the end of the day, God gave us the ability to make these choices for a reason. It's a free will agent. You know, it shouldn't be lost on anyone on our planet that the free will aspect is a learning mechanism. It's the ability for us to make mistakes, fall on our asses, then get ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and lead the troops to the end destination. That is essentially the point of free will. So the concept of religion being used, or specifically God being used in a religious context, to separate the masses in order to control us a little bit more readily, should piss everyone off on the planet, because it's used as a way to keep people down. It's used as a way to tell women that they are subservient to men. No, you're not. It's, you know, gays, you're not allowed to have any type of good life because you have sex with the same gender. How the fuck is that anybody's business? You know, it's like these things that, sorry, burpee. When you look at stuff and you look at it for what it is, you're just like, what is your problem? Like, I've never in my life been so sad or pathetic or like so lost. I don't mean to call names or say bad things, but seriously, like, I've never been so down in the dumps that I'm sitting there worrying about other people's lives because it somehow affects the rationality behind my misguided concept about life. Like, it just defies gravity, essentially. But when it comes to us as adults, people who have grown beyond the separatist attitude, we start to realize that we do need it as a life survival mechanism. And so with the channel and with it, with my trying to bring it into more focus with everyday life, what I'm trying to do is empower us to regain control of the word and the use of God. It's not just for a rapper winning a Tony. That's not gonna happen. A rapper winning like some sort of awards. It's actually based on a principle that you should be saying thanks to every day. It should not be lost on you by now, even if you haven't read the book, that God created you with just you in mind. There was never going to be another energy source but you, and even gave you genetic sequences that pass down through ancestry so that you could uncover whatever it is that you're supposed to learn in this lifetime. which means that he had 100% belief in you. So why is the reciprocity not there for you to return the favor to him? If you are going to say that he is flawed, then don't stand next to me. I mean, I have no faith, I have no fear of God directly. He and I have some meetings when when I finish this over my ascension and over the Dark Night Soul journey, but neither here nor there. The point is that I don't live in fear of him, and if you do, then you're not living life. You are afraid of yourself because you are a reflection of him, and vice versa. So the use of it as a tool to hurt people is not in God's greatest. It's not in his name. That is in your darkest shadow. And so when you deal in these high concept arenas that are so heavily personal and so subjective, you have to get to the nitty gritty of things in yourself first before you can address it on a global scale. So, I know that we have a lot of religious wars that go on, but the subject that I'm still separating is not religion per se. It's faith in God, and the subject we're talking about at the moment is God Himself, or Allah, or whatever the deity is that you pray to. It could be, any one of the Olympians, for all I care. The point is that you have a belief system that makes you able to deal with what you would not otherwise be able to deal with. So to deny someone that ability to have that, no matter what they believe in, is a crime against humanity, and you need to start thinking about it in those terms. At the end of the day, when it comes to God, He is not to be used, or whatever you call the deity to be, or her, whatever that energy source is. It is not to be used as a way to be detrimental to the success of another human being's evolution. And so when you start to learn that lesson, that means that you have started looking at yourself and looking at your darker side. And so that's kind of the lessons that we really need to be focusing on at this time in our lives. At the end of the day, like I've said before, we are trying to save a planet that we are completely taking down the shit chute. And in truth, we really need to get on that. But before we can do that, we can't even talk to each other. We're so caught up in politics and religion that we're not even able to look at one another without trying to kill the other fucker. We have to regain control. So I think it begins with the fact that we do not use God as a weapon. He does not speak to hate. That is a personal matter of yours that you need to take to a therapist. But the rest of us are a little sick and tired of you doing it. So for humanity's sake, we would all just like to say, God is not a weapon. He is, or she is, it is, the infinite power that made you and only you so that you could live this life. Don't slap him in the face by abusing that power. Anyway, that's it for me on Al Altruistic Channel. Have a great night.